Our guest tonight is Ilham Ahmed, and I have to say that we've been traveling around New York today, and I feel like I'm with a rock star. This is our third conference of the day. We've had UN meetings, we've had meetings at the New York Times. Everywhere she's gone, she's made such a positive impression, and we're so pleased to be able to welcome her here at Columbia University. So a very warm welcome to you. So Ms. Ilham is the president of the executive committee of the Syrian Democratic Council. She's a leading feminist and women's advocate for Syrian Kurds. She comes from the city of Afrin, which we know was brutally attacked and invaded by Turkey more than a year ago. And she comes here to Columbia and is visiting the United States at a critical moment for the Syrian Kurds. On the 6th of October, President Trump had a phone conversation with President Erdogan. It doesn't seem as though he read his talking points or understood the gravity of his words, because he announced in that phone conversation that the U.S. would be withdrawing its special forces from the border between Syria and Turkey. For some time, less than 100 U.S. special forces had served as a tripwire, as a deterrent to Turkey's invasion of Syria. So by withdrawing from those observation posts, the U.S. essentially gave a green light for Turkey to invade northern Syria, to destroy the beautiful experiment called Rojava, where grassroots democracy, feminism, and ecology were core principles of the region. I visited Qamishli less than a year ago, and I was so impressed with the quality of the experience and the people that I met there. In fact, this region called Rojava, which encompasses 3 provinces in northern Syria, reminded me greatly of the kibbutz movement in Israel after independence. People coming together, working cooperatively in service of common interests rather than pursuing their own narrow self-interest. And I long maintained that the solution to Syria's civil war could be modeled on the self-government that exists in the north, where you have a high degree of decentralization and self-rule over the politics, the economy, and cultural issues. So when the conversation between Trump and Erdogan was reported, I have to tell you that I was thoroughly disgusted to learn what had happened. The Syrian Democratic Council is the political wing of the Syrian Democratic Forces, who are our allies in Syria. Ever since the battle for Kobani, we discovered that the People's Protection Units and the YPJ, the women's forces, were effective and reliable partners. They essentially served as the point of the spear in the U.S. international coalition to defeat ISIS. They were our boots on the ground. And their cooperation with the United States came at a great cost. 11,000 members of the SCF died at our behest fighting ISIS. 24,000 were injured. Meanwhile, less than 10 U.S. Special Forces were died or injured during that period. So the Syrian Kurds did the fighting for us. They led the charge on Raqqa and later on Baghouz. Without them, the caliphate would not have been destroyed, and U.S. security interests in defeating ISIS and regaining territory in Iraq and Syria would not have been realized. So when President Trump unilaterally and without consideration decided to throw the Syrian Kurds under the bus, I thought it was an obscene gesture. I'm no longer a U.S. official, although I have served in 3 administrations, so I have the freedom to speak openly and plainly about my views. Every political movement needs a hero and a capable spokesperson. And our guest tonight, Ilham Ahmed, is that heroine and that spokeswoman. I've watched her over these months and over the course of the day today, and she makes a profoundly positive impression with her grasp of issues and sense of strategy. So for the Peacebuilding and Rights program to be able to host her in New York today, and for me to spend time with her, has been a great honor and a blessing. Hussein, what's the word for struggle in Kurdish? So, Kurds have a long history of resistance and struggle. And it may seem like a dark hour right now, but the struggle isn't over. The resistance is ongoing. And I believe that President Erdogan will discover that invading Rojava is his Waterloo. So we have to maintain our advocacy. We need to make the case why close cooperation with Syrian Kurds is not only the right thing to do, but in U.S. national security interests. I make that case as often and as strongly as I can with media and in my writings. But no better person to make that case on behalf of her people than Ilham Ahmed. So Ilham, it is with great respect and admiration and gratitude that I welcome you here to Columbia University. The floor is now yours. Welcome.
ونحمو بخير هاتنا وجبو تجي پیش گوتنا گلک خوش اسپاسیتکم.
I'd like to welcome you all here and thank you, David, for hosting us here today.
و ایرو چند جیا دا وسخا من بهیست ایکو ایدی پروبلما ما دوزا ما پر خوشک ده دینه زمان من دیت از گلک کیف خوشت بون.
And every time I see someone that can actually express our struggle and our cause so articulately, I get very happy.
و از وسخا فهم دکم کو ایدی دنگ ما لهر دره هنه و شون مدا و جبر ما و داخل هنه.
And I see that there are people that are able to articulately express our cause in other places outside of us.
اجویا هز دگرم مورال دگرم و اتزانم که اوانا ایدی دنگ گل کرد و گل هرم بگیشتینه گل بندست ایکو زحمتی دکشینه لهر درج بو پاراستن وان داخبن.
I take a lot of strength and morale from people like this that are able to express not just the people, our people's views, but the people of the region in places like these.
ام گل سوری دناف دا گل کرد بتایبت ل بنسها رژیم بعثتا گلک زوری و زحمتی مکشاند.
We, as the Kurdish people, as people of Syria, but as Kurdish people as well, have always gone through a very tough time under the administration of the Ba'athist regime.
کردا د سوری کرد هجمارک مزن ج کردا د بن سها حزب بعثتا پارتیا بعثتا بیناسنامه هات بکرن.
A lot of Kurds under the Ba'athist regime were left without any kind of identity or citizenship.
ج همو ما في خوی سیاسی هات بو بپار کرن.
All their political rights were taken away from them.
ج ما في خوی چاندی محروم هات بو هشتن.
They were left without their cultural rights.
به دست پیکرنا 2011 دا وک درفتک و گوهرتنک دموکراتیک دهندری سوری دا چه ببه ما دست پیکر؟
We saw on 2011 an opportunity for democratic change in Syria.
ما گله خوره خستن کر و ما هول داکو به شوازه کی آشتیانه و به تکوشینه که دموکراتیک و ام بکاربن گوهرتنه د سوری دا چه بکن.
And so we organized our people and we believe that through peaceful and democratic means we can make certain changes in Syria.
جبوجی ما رخستن کرنا گل دست بکر مجلس جکومین و هر وها رخستنا جنان جوانان لحمی آلیه جوا که ما رخستن کر.
And so the first place we started was forming communes and local assemblies with women, with the youth across the region.
ما خواست کو ام سیستم کی د سوری دا آوا بکن او جی دموکراسیا جواک آکو بریار جیر درد کبن جوری ام وینا آوا بکن.
And we wanted to replace the regime in Syria with a more democratic grassroots democracy that could replace the current administration.
آزادیا جن تدا اساس بو.
And the liberation of women was a primary part of this.
سیستم هفسروکی جن و مر د حمو ناوند بریار دا هاتنه بجه کرن.
And we have a system of co-chairs in all positions of power and decision-making levels.
دورن کو جن قط نکاری بولیت هف بگرن یانجی حرکت بکه لوی داری بلا ما سیستم هفسروکاتی چیکر.
Even in places where women were barely able to move, we established a co-chair system.
یعنی ددما که پر کندا گاوین پر مازن دا آلیه گوهرتن ذهن فکر و چاند دا چی بو.
In a very short time, we made significant strides towards changing the mentality in the region.
اویاجی به حسانی چی نبو.
And this was not easy to do.
بکدک مازن هات آوا کرن.
This took a lot of effort on our part.
هیویا ما او بو کو ام بکار بن سوری تواهیل سر و چانده رخستن بکن.
And our hope was that maybe one day we could organize the whole of Syria through this culture.
لمخابن مداخله کل سر سوری چه بو سر شورش سوری چه بو صدم کو ایدی ایکو مخالفه دخوازه رژیم بگهرینه زیورین بون گروپین چکتار ایکو خدمت هزی در ودکن هن.
And unfortunately, after all foreign interventions, we saw that those that had deemed themselves as opposition forces all became proxies of international powers that wanted to intervene.
رژیم سبب بو کو او شورش آشتیانه او سرهلدان بزورن ببن بچک.
It was the regime's fault that these protests turned violent.
جبر کو رژیم سلاح لدجی سیویلان بکارانی.
Because the regime used violence against civilians.
و پشتی ویجی ایکو رابون سرهلدانی جی زیورین سلاح گرتن دست خو ویجا نوبر رژیم و مخالفت داد بوشر.
And this is why those that rose against the regime also had to turn to violence.
بمداخله هز دولت هریمی ایمینا ترکیه قطر و هر وها دولت دن دستک دان و سلاح دان و هدی ریفکر کو در کتنا داعش چه ببه.
And regional states like Turkey and Qatar supported both logistically and militarily these proxy forces, and this led to eventually the establishment of organizations like ISIS
و گروپین القاعده الودری چه ببه.
and groups that are related to Al-Qaeda.
آرمانجا داعش او بوکو دولتا که چه بکه نافبر عراق و سوری دا.
ISIS wanted to establish their own state in between Iraq and Syria.
گر لور بسر بکتوی هن زیادتر سینور دولت خافره کربا.
And if it had succeeded in doing this there, it was going to expand even further.
لی او تکوشینا کومت دامشاندنه بو صدم کو اف پروژه داعش تک بچ.
And the resistance that we showed essentially ended ISIS's hopes of a caliphate.
هز دولت هرمی اکو ند خواستن و پروژه داعش تک بچه هنن.
There are regional states like Turkey that didn't want the ISIS project to fail.
وقتا کو ایرش لسر کوبانه هات کرن ام دزانن شاهد جهنه و اثبات جهنه کو پر بهز دولت ترکی ایری دستک داعش کرج بو کو کوبانه بکوی دست داعش.
For example, when ISIS attacked the town of Kobani, we know and we have documents to prove that Turkey supported and encouraged ISIS's effort to destroy Kobani.
اردوغان بخود درکت سر راگهاندنه او گود کوبانه کوی وای بکوی.
Erdogan himself went out and publicly stated that Kobani was about to fall.
لبنده بو کو کوبانه تف بکوی دست داعش.
And he was hoping that Kobani would actually be occupied by ISIS.
لی دستکا کو امریکا کوالیسیون ج هیز ما یپگرا کر بو صدم کو لوی داره هم برخودانا کو یپگی دامشاندن هم آلیکاریا کو هات کرن بو صدم کو لوی داره جارک دم برخودانا که مزن چی بده.
And the US's intervention and actual support for the resisting forces, the YPG in Kobani, was the reason, and the YPG's resistance itself was the reason for why ISIS lost in Kobani. And that was the first step in our joint effort against ISIS with us and the US.
بلکه نه امریکا تخمین دکر و نه ما تخمین دکر و نه کسی که دن تخمین دکر که روزه که امو امریکا می به هفدورت جبهه کی دا لبرانبر داعش بسکن.
Maybe no one ever thought before that us and the US could be on the same side fighting against ISIS.
ليش بركو جروبين امريكا پرورده دکرن ج عربا و دخواستكو بوان و شورش اكيد هندري سوري دا چه بكن او جروب حمي بنك هتن و زيفرين بون جروبين اسلامي.
Because all the groups that the US was actually training and equipping had failed one by one and actually were turning into ISIS themselves.
يعني حتى 2014 جي هنجي دستك و آلیکاری جوان گروپ را دچو با آرمان جی کو گوهرتن دسولی دا چه ببین.
Even up until 2014, the US was supporting and providing logistics for these groups in order to somehow attain a revolution in Syria.
ده پشتی کوبسر نکت ایدی امریکا هات بمرا اتفاق چکر.
And only after significant failures did the US turn away and align itself or ally itself with us.
و ام جی براستی بترس بون دل من پر ند جیدا بو ام به امریکا را کارکی وها بکن.
And to be completely honest, we were actually worried by this at first. We didn't think that we could pull this off with the US.
ترسا ما هبو کد نیوی ریدا ما بهله.
And we were afraid that they could leave us hanging dry halfway through.
داعش هزکی پر بترس بو پر هوانه بو کو وک معرکی تو سری ویجه که و نیویدا بهله یعنی لی بده و بریم بکه و نیویدا بهله ایدی او خورتر دبه ویجش بو ایرشتکه.
And ISIS is a horrific organization, just like a snake. If you only injure it, it'll only come back stronger.
جبو ویجی یعنی ما گلک راکر و دانی و ما سر خدا او کر یعنی حتی که ما بریا کی جان هیزا بخواست به مرا دان استاندن بکی دوستانیه بکی ام دوست هری درستن.
And whoever wants to come and be friends, I think we are very dignified friends for anyone that wants to be.
لید به پیوان وی دوستانیه جوری جی.
But this friendship needs to be respected by all sides.
ما دشر دا زیدهی 11,000 شهید مدام.
We've lost more than 11,000 martyrs in the fight against ISIS.
25,000 غازی و بریندار ما چی بون.
About 25,000 wounded.
ایریشا سر عفرین دا 2,000 شهید مد هندر دو مهادا مدام.
In only 2 months, we lost 2,000 martyrs in the war in Afrin.
لسر کانی و گری سپیس دی جاردن 300 شهید مدام.
In the most recent battles in Seriakani and Tel Abyad, we've lost 300 fighters in 11 days.
هجمارا شهیدا ایکودوان آلانا دل برانبر ترکیه مدایه پر زیدتره شهیدین کو ملدجی داعش دانه.
The martyrs that we've lost against Turkey are actually more than what we lost against ISIS.
وأف شروان كول في داري شهيد كاتن عيني شروان كول لدجي داعش شر كربون.
And the martyrs that fell against Turkey are the very same people that also fought to defeat ISIS.
لأف إيريشا دولة تركيا ذاتها دخواست كو هيزا ما تفتيك بتشي.
And Turkey's attacks, the sole purpose of their attacks are to break our forces completely.
دخوازي حمي قربك.
They want to just kill all of them.
مج أمريكيا راجوت. ما قلت كي أف هيزا إيكول دجي داعش شاردكي هون جمارة بيجين أم بهافرد دجي داعش شاربكن ليه؟ فا إيريشا دولة تركيا فا شروان ما تكوجي.
And we told the Americans very clearly, you want us to continue fighting against ISIS, but the Turkish state is killing the very fighters that will be doing that.
أما تشاو شر داعش بكن كو إيريشا دولة تركيا سرمهن.
How can we continue fighting ISIS when Turkey's attacks are ongoing?
قال لك جارادا يعني هر سوز وها دابون تقولن دفركو هيزا مالي هي أمي بباريس.
The Americans always said that wherever our forces are, we will defend.
هيزا وان لرجالاتي فراتي هي أما العفرين تنب.
They had no forces in Afrin, all their forces were in the eastern Euphrates.
قافكو روسيا عزمان عفرين جي تركيا رفكر ما حساب كركو أفيا وك نزيكبونا ك پشتاینه یانجی ام بیجن اشته روسال برانبر مکر سوز خو بجینه آنی.
When the Russians opened the airspace to Turkey for Afrin, we understood that the Russians haven't, they're not going to keep their promises to us.
جبوی متن روسیا تیدا سوشتار دید.
And that's why we only blamed Russia for what happened in Afrin.
عفرین بلکی اون زانن چه جهات.
But I think that maybe a lot of you know what actually happened in Afrin.
نزی 800,000 انسان لی جیان دکرن ایرو جوی 800,000 جسدی آنجا ربک ایکو صدی پنج کرد عفرین العفرین مانه.
Close to 800,000 people were living in Afrin before Turkey attacked, but I would say only around 5% of the Kurds that lived there before Turkey's attacks are there now.
ایدن حمیج عفرین هاتن در خستن.
The rest have completely been cleansed of the area.
10 کیلومتر نزی باجار خوشیان دکن لی نکارن وگرن.
They live around 10 kilometers away from their own city, but they're unable to return.
د قامپا دا جیان دکن.
They live in camps.
عفرین مینا جنت اکی بو.
Afrin was a heaven,
لی ایرو کرنه جهنم.
but they've turned it into hell.
مالبات چتات در جیان دکن.
The families of these gangsters are there now.
القاعده نه داعشینه.
Al-Qaeda and ISIS.
و اف گروپین کو دولت ترکی پشتگیریاویت که.
And all of these groups are supported by the Turkish government.
ناو لیکری ارتشا نتوی آسوری.
And they've called it the Syrian National Army.
لی هر روز جنا دراوینن.
They take the women every day.
دست دانی نسر ملک عالمه.
They've taken the property of the
دارا
people away.
دبرن دار زیتونه.
They're cutting down all the forests.
آثار دیروکی ای هرین تف دزینه.
They're stealing all the historical artifacts in the region.
ترکرنا هرمه کرنه.
They're Turkifying the region.
يعني الوي داري هم قركرن بيك آنينا هم جي جوهرتنا كديموغرافي پر خراب الوي داري بيك آنينا.
So they're undertaking a massacre there, but they're also playing with the demography of the region.
ودولة تركيا تبيجي أف نمونا هرما أولا أكو أصبح استكمة.
And the Turkish state openly says that this is the example that I want as a safe zone.
لجور تركيا هرما أولا أف بويدامي هرما نا أولا ويتشاو بالجور تركيا.
So if this is a safe zone for Turkey, I wonder what an unsafe zone would look like.
همان نمونه أنا هالجري سبي أو لسريكانية بيكتين.
The same type of project now is being undertaken in Giresun and Serikani.
نه هيفي نه هيفان نه إيرش دست بيكر دولة تركيا سيرفان هردو باجارا.
On the 9th of October, both these towns were being attacked by Turkey.
بفكرنا عزمان هرمي لبيشيا بالافرن دولة تركيا الوي دريجي جاردن سياستك قركرن بيك هات و بنابريه كمظن اي خلكي شي.
Another massacre was undertaken there as soon as the airspace was again open to Turkey, and now we have a lot of refugees as well from that region.
نزي 6,000 خلق بنابرويه.
Nearly 300,000 people have forcefully fled.
سياسات مدار ما كشتن.
They again killed our politicians.
بشيوازكي هوفانا.
Very atrociously.
بجسد شروان ما يبهزي ليستن.
They played with the bodies of our fallen fighters.
أو شروانا يبهجي آكو لدجي داعش شر كربو مروفاهي باراست.
The same women fighters that were defending humanity against the atrocious ISIS.
إيرو بدست دولة تركيا هاتن قتل كر.
And now they are being killed by the Turkish state
لبرچاوی دنیای تفی
in front of the whole world's eyes.
ببریاره کو جبو ترکیا نخیده جبو کو ترکیا عاجز نبه اف قصا قتل عامه كمزن دولة تركيا سرمكر.
Just so Turkey can be appeased, Turkey was allowed to undertake those massacres against our people.
إيروجي جوهرتنا كديموغرافي دس بيبويا.
And now there is a demographic change underway there
پشتی کو
too.
خلکی وی هاتن درخستن ایکول ترکیه مانا مالبات واج حتی حمیتینن لوی داره بجیدی کن.
After people of the region were made to forcefully flee, the family members of these gangsters are once again being placed into
حیاب نها مالبات 176 مالبات آنینا گریسپی لوی داره بجی کن.
Until now, around 176 families have been placed in Garisipi.
مالبات داعشیانه.
They are families of ISIS.
يعني دولة تركيا في إيريشا خفا وك نامكي بده طولا خوش مراكر كو چما ما دولة داعش تكبريا.
So essentially, the Turkish state is taking revenge against us for defeating ISIS.
لشون ويدا داعشية كانو أفكر.
And instead of the defeated ISIS, they're creating a new one.
لغور كريارن كوفان كومن چتا ايكو دولة تركيا پشتگريا وان دكي اواناجي رنگكي داعشية برنگكي نو ناوكي نونه.
And now these gangster groups that Turkey is forming under its own umbrella are just a rebranded and renamed version of ISIS.
جوي پر گرينگا كو جواتا ناف دولتي واتشتا زانبن.
And it's very important that the people, the international community, are well aware of what's going on.
وي روجي اردوغان باندكر اوروبا دگو اگر هون داخاز مپیک نینن او هجمارك 26,000 مليار دولار هجر والندن ما جبو بروجا بجي كرنا بنابران وأز دريفكم داعشي بلا حمي ورنجمو.
Erdogan was again making public threats just the other day that if the EU didn't fund its crazy safe zone project, then he'd just open the door and the floodgates to all these ISIS fighters and refugees to cross into Europe.
آرمانجا دولة تركيا داغر كريا و جوهرتنا ديموغرافيك الروجافا تفي سر بسري سينور.
The Turkish state's intention is to colonize the whole northern Syrian region and implement its own expansionist hopes.
خو أشكرا دبيجي حتى موصل وهر.
They say very openly that they will go all the way until Mosul.
وفيها حمي بنافي كوشتا بكيكل في داري هيا إيرشتكي.
And they do this all under the name of the PKK is there, and that's what that they're going after the PKK.
PKK ذات هنجرب بيو حجتك جبو إيرشي عراقي بك إيرشي روجافا بك سبا دوسبا جبو روجهلات ويوصابيجي.
The PKK's turned into the perfect excuse for the Turkish state to go attacking in Iraq, in Syria, maybe in the time to come in Iran as well.
أما تو آليك در نا بيجي كلام قياس بكن تشتكو PKK دكي تشيا تشتكو دولة تركيا دكي تشيا كرياري وان شن القياس بكن كاكي تيروريستا وصوري نافكر.
But no one even dares to ask the question. Let's just compare what the Turkish state has done and what the PKK has done, and let's try and deem who the real terrorists are.
جبو ويجي دولة تركيا جاري أردوغان بخوشي قوتية كردك لأفريقيا بأزي شرويبك.
The Turkish state's mentality is this, and Erdogan's actually said this once very clearly as well. Even if there's a Kurd in Africa, I'll go and fight him there too.
اف دولة تركيا اكو هاتيه جوهرتن ايدي نا تركيا بريه.
This Turkish state has gone through some sort of a change, and it's not the Turkey that once was.
دولة تركيا بريه كا لايك بو انا دولة انها سازين خو و عالية چاندي فكري داجي بو تمامي بو دولة كإسلامي راديكال.
Turkey was once a secular state, but the changes that it's undergone now has turned the Turkish state and all of its institutions into one of radical Islamism.
إذا أو ممكن دصافة أوروبا أمريكا دورة قبول كرن.
It's no longer possible to deem Turkey as in the camp of Europe and the West.
ذاتن أو دخازة دولتك إسلامي دو دنيا دا تشبكي أردوغان جبه خليفة وي.
I mean, the intention is that they want to form a new Islamic state in the world, and they want Erdogan, and Erdogan wants to be the caliph.
وأو بلوكا كو أنا هاتي دا جيبويا بلوكا أستانا إش خد تمامي فيها إثبات دكي والسر فيجي إصرار دكي.
And the bloc, the Astana bloc that they call it, the people there say this very clearly. The intention is very clear there.
قال لك بالتهليكية يعني إدي دم هاتيه كو ريل بيشيا تركي كريارين ويوري قرتن.
And we've come to a very dangerous place, and Turkey's intentions now need to be checked.
ام قالك كيف خوشن كومديت قال الدنيا دا جواكن حمي بيشتغريا ما كرد في روج زحمتها.
We are very happy to see that the peoples of the world have turned to the Kurds and supported the Kurds in these very hard times.
اردوغان بخوشي تخمين ندكر كو اوقاس بيشتغريج مرة شي
I
ببي.
don't think Erdogan ever imagined that there could be so much support for the Kurds.
جبويجي كي بيشتغريا ما كري او جبويا تيرورست.
And that's why whoever supported us have also been deemed terrorists.
و جوي شون داجي ايدي هاجر ريل بيشيا اردوغان نوي قرتن و فا بروجا دولة إسلامية يعني دولة تركيا تمامي ببي دولة كداعش د رجلاتا نافيندا.
And if going forward Erdogan and Turkey's intentions aren't checked and aren't called out, then I'm afraid we'll probably have a new ISIS-style Islamic State in the region.
د جامعة د درسين راديكاليزم ده.
They are openly giving radical lessons in mosques.
د دبستان ده فكر كين ونفرت لبرانبر كرداد ده.
In the school curriculums, they're teaching hatred towards the Kurds.
اف جروبين ايكو تينا ايرش تكن نزانن ام كينا ايرشي متكن.
Even the groups that are attacking us right now under the behest of the Turkish state don't even know who we are.
تانيت بيجن افانا كردن افانا كافرن.
All they say is that these are Kurds and they are unbelievers.
تين دبينن جامعة مهنن.
And they come and see we have mosques too.
خلق جاري الميجي دكي.
And the people also pray like
اف
them.
چاوا دبن كافر و خريستيان كينجي بونه كافر.
And they questioned how are these unbelievers and when did Christians become unbelievers?
اردوغان شر خريستيان ومسلمان جاري كي دن گردكه.
And Erdogan is once again deepening the war between Islam and Christianity.
اف قالك بتهلكيه.
And this is very dangerous.
جويجي دبي ريل بيشاوي وري قرتن.
And this is why again he needs to be checked on this.
باجاروك تلتمر باجاركي كرد عرب سوريان و خريستيان بهفر الوي دريجيان دكن.
The town of Tiltamer, which is in danger right now, is a town in which Christians, Syriacs, Muslims and Kurds all live together.
كنيسة جهية جامي جهية الور.
They have churches and they have mosques.
العمودة يزيدي هنن.
In Amude we have Yazidis.
بقامشلو تواهي رنگ يعني پررنگی جچاندان ده هيا.
Kamushlo itself is a completely multicultural and multi-faith city.
لي بهفر جيان دكن يعني تنا كوكي كي وان تنا.
And they all live together and they have no internal conflicts.
سیستم ریوبریا خسر وان رنگا حمی درخستیه و هر کس با آزادی جیان دکلوی داره.
The autonomous administration has enabled for all of these differences to be able to live together freely.
دوی ریوبریا ده هر کس هاتیه تمثیل کرن.
And in this administration, all of them are being represented.
خلق راحتن کیف خوشن.
The people are comfortable and happy.
پر کسا حساب کربون کدوا شرادا کرد و عرب ویل هفته بخینن.
A lot of people expected that part of this conflict, the Kurds and Arabs will also be fighting each other.
حساب دکرن کو ترکی جور و ایرش بکی ویل آلیه باشور دیر آزوری وان داره و عرب و جال دجی مدر بکن.
They made the calculation that if Turkey attacked from the north, then the Arabs from the south would also come attacking the Kurds.
اما دیتن کی نو صابو.
But they saw that that's just not what.
بروفا جیوه عربا بعشیرا و زاروکین خود جوانن خود شاندن جبهاش بکو پاراستنا سینور لبرانبر دولت ترکیه.
The Arabs of the south sent their children, sent their fighters all the way to the north to actually resist against the Turkish occupation.
یعنی چاوا کردا لدیر آزوری خوینا خدام پاراستنا عربا کرن عربا جی لسرکانیه لگره سپی زاروک خوشاندن لوی داره شهید کتن.
Just like when the Kurds sent their fighters and their children to Deir ez-Zor to fight and protect the Arab community there, the Arabs of the south are now sending their fighters and youth to help defend the Kurdish regions against Turkish occupation.
جواکا آزاد و دموکرات اوه.
This is what a free and democratic society looks
رغم
like.
سیاستان دکاره بریار خوی راست بده.
Despite the political games that are being played, they can make the correct decision.
نه د سوری ده و نه د رجلاتا ناوین ده تشتک بساتونه.
That neither in Syria nor in the Middle East you can't find a second example.
او هیزن کو ام جدر وی چاره سریا سیاسی هشتنه ما جاره کی دن مجبوری یا سیستم یا سیاست رژیم بحث دکه یا جی مجبوری سیاست کومن اسلامی دکه.
The forces that have until now worked hard to leave us out of the political negotiations are now forcing us to choose between radical Islamists or the Syrian regime.
د قوميتها دستور اكو لجنيف دجفن طرفك رژیم طرفك يه نونرين كومي اسلامينه طرفك جي قوتنا جواكا مدنينه سيفيلن يه لوي جواكا سيفيل جي او جروبا جي ديسا نيفي آليجر رجيمنا نيفي آليجر إسلاميان.
The constitutional committee that's now meeting in Geneva are formed of 3 groups. One is the pro-regime, the other are the Islamic, the radical Islamists, and then you have a third portion that are supposed to be independent, of which also half are pro-regime and half are radical Islamists.
دستورا كودار بكه و جار يا جاردن رژیم و نو بكه يانجي و سيستم كا إسلامي راديكال شبه.
And so a constitution that comes out of that can only be a renewal of what we had in Syria before, or a radical Islamist one.
ديمقراطية تانيني.
There won't be any democracy in it.
جبويجي برجرينجا كو بشتاربونا ما جوه خباطة دستور و چارەسەری سیاسی ده.
And this is why it's going to be very important that we also take part in that meeting.
اگر براستی نتوی یک بوی دخوازن دستوری دا چارەسەر بکن و دمی گره که هر کس بشتار بین نکو قسم مزن نونره 5 میلیون انسان ایرول در وی قومیت دستور و چارەسەری
If the
سیاسی.
UN is really sincere about this constitutional process in Syria, then it's going to have to allow us to be represented there as well, because not allowing that leaves 5 million people out of the process.
دبن چاودێریە نەتەوی یک بوی د واکارەتێ
And
مەشاندنێ.
this is all done under the observation of the United Nations.
سبب چه شاشتیەک تێدا دەربکەوێ نونەرێ نەتەوە یک بوی بەرپرسیارە.
Whatever comes out of this tomorrow, the UN is also going to be responsible.
ji bo biryarê bi xwe girtinê gerek pêk bîne.
And they've taken this decision themselves, so I think they need to implement it.
Bi xwe biryar girtin ku gotin her kes ege xelkê Sûrî gerek beşdar bibe lê îro bi xwe wê biryarê pêk nayînin.
The UN said that all peoples of Syria need to be part of this process, but now it's them that are not implementing this.
Ev jî ne edalet û ne heqî ye.
And that's just not just.
Em wisa girîng dibînin ku vê kara werê serrastkirin.
We feel that it's very important that this at once is corrected.
Ji bo xatirê Tirkiye carek dî problema di Sûrî de dernaxîne.
Just to appease Turkey, we hope that they don't start new problems in Syria again.
Her kes bi navî vîtoyê Tirkiye de xwe vedişêrin.
And everyone's hiding themselves behind the appeasement of Turkey.
Ev
right
Tirkiye bû çi?
What did this Turkey become?
Bû serûka dunyayê?
Is it now the world leader or something?
Amerîka daxve dibe vîtoyê Tirkiye. Ewropa daxivin dibe vîtoyê Tirkiye. Netewê yekbûyî daxve dibe vîtoyê Tirkiye. Tirkiye bû çi?
America tells us that this is Turkey's veto. The European Union is telling us this is Turkey's veto. The United Nations are telling us this is Turkey's veto. I mean, how strong can Turkey really be?
İdî Rusya jî daxve dibe vîtoyê Tirkiye.
Even Russia saying that this is a Turkey veto.
Wê de em hemî serê xwe ji Tirkiye re dayîne em bêje xelas qediye.
Then let's just all bow to Turkey and end it all.
Ji bo jî ev hicet e ne hiceteke rast e.
So this stance is just not the right stance.
Bihêlin xelkê Sûrî bi xwe biryara xwe bidin.
Just leave the people of Syria to decide for themselves.
Li ser vê esasî rewş aniha rewşeke hîn giran di ortê de heye.
There is a very heavy atmosphere still present right now.
Tehdîdê dewleta Tirkiye ne qediyane.
The Turkish state's threats haven't ended.
Îro îlan kirin gotin êrişa li ser serê kanî û girê spî îdî qediya feqet em ji vêya nebawerin.
They just announced today that the attacks on Serikani and Girisepi have ended, but we don't believe this.
Her agerbestê vekîrî dibêjin lê li ser erdê tiştek girantir dikin, êrişê girantir dikin.
I mean, rhetorically, the ceasefire is holding, but they're attacking on the ground every single day still.
û pir me tirsînê me hene ku di demê utlên serê salê da dewleta Tirkiye êrişekî ser Kobanê bike.
And we're very concerned that maybe around the new year, the Turkish state can actually maybe launch an attack against the city of Kobani.
Kobanê sembûla têkbirina Daişê ye.
Kobani is the symbol of the defeat of ISIS,
Di dunyayê de hatiye naskirin.
and it's recognized in the world.
Li wê derê ger êrişek çê bibe wê qirkirina Kurda pêk werin.
And if an attack is conducted against Kobani, then the Kurds again will be massacred.
Ji bo jî dibe raya giştî her kesek li ser Kobanê û li wê herêma ser Sînûr hişyar bin.
And that's why we hope that the international community will be concentrating on that region and Kobani specifically.
Em ji her kesî daxwaz dikin ku vê herêmê niha dewleta Tirkiye ketî jê derkeve.
Our demand is that the Turkish state leaves the places that it has occupied,
û ew herêm wek herêmeke bêçek were îlan kirin.
and for that region to be announced or declared as a demilitarized zone.
Li ser Sînûr hêzên navdewletî hebin.
and international forces to be present on the border between Syria and Turkey.
و بشداربونا ما چارەسەری سیاسی را چێ.
And that we are able to participate in the political solution process.
و صابه به ئەمێ فهم بکن کو دنیا ڕاستی دخوازن د سووری ده شەر بداوی ببە.
And if this happens, then we'll be convinced that the international forces want an end to the Syrian conflict.
هەگەر وسا نەبێتێ معنا کو ئیدی هەر ئالی دخوازن شەر دەوام بکێ چ قاسە خەڵکی سووری کورد تێن کوشتن بڵاو بێن کوشتن.
And if this doesn't happen, it will just mean that the international forces don't really want to end the conflict in Syria, and they don't mind Kurds being massacred.
ئەو جی تشتێکی دەروی ئەخلاقەیە.
And this is just unethical.
لەسەر خوینا گەلان دەبێ مرۆ کێفخواش نەبێ بەرجەوەندیان خۆ نەمەشینێ.
No one should further their interests on the blood of any people.
وا زاروکێن کو دوا شەڕەدە دچن هەمی بکەد و بچاباتێن خودی کرد.
All the children that are being killed as part of this conflict, it takes a lot of effort to bring these kids up.
دایکێن وان بەر وان و ئەو قاسا کەدێ دەدێ.
Their mothers put a lot of effort, their fathers put a lot of effort bringing these children up.
ئیدی پێویستە ئەو جی دە ئارامiyە دە ژیان بکە.
And now they need to be able to live comfortably too.
بە پشتگیرییا و گەلên جیهانê em bawer dikin ku ev proje wê serkeftî bê.
And with your support and the support of the peoples of the world, we believe that this project can be successful.
Bi alîkariya we ev êrişa yekê a Tirkiye sekinî.
With your help and support, the Turkish attack was stopped.
Destek hîn zêde bikin wê çareserî jî pêş bikin.
And if this support grows, then we could even maybe get a solution.
Lê ku ji Rojava me derkeve wê Tirkiye êrişî deverê dî jî bike wê qirkirinê dî jî pêk bîne.
But if this somehow evades our attention, then Turkey will attack other regions and commit new massacres.
Ez gelek we spas dikim.
I thank you all very much.
û pirs hebin em dikarin.
And if there are any questions, I'd love to take them.
Oh my goodness, what a powerful and compelling presentation you've made. Thank you for sharing those views and those feelings with us. Questions? For this gentleman here. Could you identify yourself?
Amitod Singh, I'm from the Columbia Journalism School, and I'm a journalist from India, a broadcast journalist. Also, I'm actually pursuing a thesis in Iraq on the Yazidi women who have returned and are right now in camps. My question is specifically about them, since you fight for women's rights. Could you tell us what do you believe is the solution right now to those Yazidi women who came back but their own communities are not accepting them because of the fact that they had children from ISIS fathers?
Yani rewşê jinên îzdî bi rastî ew jî trajediyeke mezin e.
The situation of the Yazidi women is a whole amazing tragedy on its own.
Jinên ku aniha îzdî ne û li qampa Holêd nav Daişiya de mane, cesaret nakin nasnama xwe aşkere bikin ji tirsa malbatê û ya din jî ji tirsa Daişiya.
There are Yazidi women in the Al-Hol camp, for example, who are living in and amongst ISIS fighters still, are very afraid to actually express their own identity, one, because they're afraid of the ISIS fighters, but also because they're afraid of their own community and families too.
Hejmarê jina hebûn ê ku malbatê ew zarok qebûl nekirin.
There were a number of families that didn't accept both the women and their children.
Ew zarok li cem saziyek me taybet li Rojavayê ew naxwedî dikin.
We have a specific organization and institution in Rojava that caters for these specific situations.
Hinek dayîkên ku nexwastin zarokê xwe berdin lê mecbûr man berdin ji ber ku malbatê nexwastin.
There were many mothers that were forced to leave their children and go back to their families.
Psîkolojiya wan gelek xirab.
And that's a huge psychological toll.
Piştî derin cem malbatê xwe jî malbat jî îdî nîzîkbûnê wan baş e, xerab e, çawayê ew jî nexuyanî.
And when they go back to their families, they're treated on a whole different new way.
Baş bû ku îzdiya qebûl kirin gotin yani evana neb destê xwe wisa bûne mecbûrî wiha bûne em qebûl dikin. Yana îzdî qet û qet rewşên wiha ne radikin ne jî qebûl dikin.
I mean, there were some positive steps in when these people were somehow accepted back into the community, but this is a very, very difficult process for them as well, because culturally they're very, very close to such things.
او بخو ازدیه لیج آلی یکی مسلمان و هاتی حمل کرن.
I mean, you know, for a Yazidi to be to mother a child from a Muslim, it's just a very huge deal.
افجی روشه که تراژدی پر گرانه.
And that's just a tragic situation in itself.
تو سازی کل سر خبتی نتونه.
There's not a single institution that works specifically on this issue.
او جنو مالبات آخوی.
And it's just that woman and her family.
Thank you.
Let's hear from this gentleman there.
My name is Firat Demir. I'm from Turkey, and I'm a student here at Columbia studying English literature. And it's an honor to hear you talk today. And I'm, as a Kurdish person, I'm grateful that you've been spending 2 months in the United States for the behalf of your community and for the Kurds. My question is that, I mean, I with all these recent tragedies, sometimes I feel like it shakes my beliefs and it makes me sad, but at the same time I believe that Kurdistan exists as an eternal idea without all these daily politics of state governments. But at the same time, more and more I'm thinking that because Kurds doesn't have a capital and sometimes bureaucratic support in this capitalist world, there are always that somehow we cannot sit down on table and fight for our rights bureaucratically. So what you're doing right now is very important. So I would like to hear about strategies going forward, because I believe that we Kurds now have to find a way to turn this sympathy into a bureaucratic improvement. Thank you.
Thank you.
راسته يعني اف دستكي كوجمر هاتيه حطبناها دبي بزفري ببي تشتكي البرشاف و غارانتي.
It's right. I mean, all this sympathy and support we've had needs to somehow now turn into some concrete political gains.
استراتيجية ما بلية د چرچوا سوري دا ام دخوازن سيستما که نناوندی دموکراتیک چی ببه؟
And our strategy or goal in Syria is very clear. We want a decentralized administration going forward for Syria.
همی گل به هفدورا با آزادی جیان بکن اول و چاند با آزادی به هفرا جیان بکن لسروی اساسیه.
All different faiths and cultures to be able to coexist together in a unitary Syria.
و پروژه جالیه چاپ ناف دولتی دا پر زحمتی کشاند.
This project was very difficult trying to express this within the international scene.
بتایبت آلی سیستم دولتان دا هر تم بن توانباریا کو افسوری پرچه دکن چی بون؟
There was always this suspicion in the international statist system that this is somehow going to be divisive of Syria.
تشتك انترسانه کو دولت ترکی برچاوی هر کسی تی سوری پرچه دکه کس نابیجه پرچه دکن.
It's so strange that the Turkish state can very clearly divide up Syria and no one's questioning that.
لام د سوری دنم دموکراسی دخوازن دبیجی اون پرچه دکن.
But we are actually in Syria and we're calling for democracy, and yet we're being blamed for being separatists.
ام رژیم را رو دنم دخوازن چاره سر بکن دبیجی اون چما رو دنم.
We sit down with the Syrian regime to try and solve this. People are saying, why are you doing that?
مخالفت اسلامی رادیکال را هم نکارن رو نزاتن.
We can't sit down with radical Islamists to speak about a solution.
لایک رای ام رو دنن دبیجی اون چما رو دنن.
We sit down with seculars and then we're criticized for sitting down with them too.
يعني تام روشة كي بتهني هشتن خاصة هرت مسابقين يعني ما بتهني هرتن بهلن جبوكو نافي برشكرني المبكن سوري برشتك.
So there was always an intentional policy of these forces to leave us alone. So we're always a lone force, and then that way we can easily be determined or categorized as separatists.
لجاردن ما قلت أم خلك سورينا وأم كردن أم تخازن يكبونا سوري باراستي به ولوي داري ما في كردام سوغر به.
But we always were consistent with how we said that we are a people of Syria. We are Kurds, but we're a people of Syria, and that we want a unitary Syria in which the rights of the Kurds are given.
جبوجي أم هاتنا أسطاكو أنا ها أم بدولة را لسر مسار رونن وام بيجن اف ماف جرك مسوجر ببه.
And that's why now we have somehow attained a level in which we're able to sit down with states and actually express this project and our thoughts.
The Syria تفيد تك guarantee اف بروجيه.
And I feel that this is the only guarantee for the future of Syria.
اگر دستك في بروجيه نكن سبا سوري تمامي دبه سيستمك داعش اسلامي راديكال.
If this project doesn't get the support it requires, then the future of Syria will just be an Islamist future.
وبلا هري مازن دستبكي و دولتين دروا ببينه.
And this will, I think, be a grave threat for the international forces first and foremost.
جبوي او زانن دبي چرچوي دا دبي وير بروجي خورت بكن كان بكار بن سوري تفيل غور وير خستن بكن و چار سري ببين.
And that's why we urge these international forces that within this framework, this is the best project going forward to actually maintain stability for the whole world.
او هزام جي هي ومش خوش باورن.
I think we have that strength and we have confidence in ourselves to put this
ام
forward.
تكارن خلق سوري جي اقناع بكن.
And I think we can actually convince all the peoples of Syria too.
Let me add to that one Iraq policy was flawed and a failure. The fact that it was supported by both President Obama and President Trump is a shame. If we had recognized the national aspirations of Iraqi Kurds when 93% voted for independence and recognized Iraqi Kurdistan as an independent state, the whole course of events might have been different. When you have an international legal personality, the international system works in your favor. When you are an oppressed people, the exact opposite is the case. So I had the honor of working with Richard Holbrooke on Bosnia. We know that the only way to stop Syria's grinding civil war is to decentralize power, to adopt a policy of democratic federalism, to distribute governance and economy and cultural rights to Syria's regions. Erdogan wanted to strangle the baby, in his own words, because he fears democracy in his own country. And I also add to that, Erdogan claimed that Turkey was invading Rojava based on national security grounds. Syrian Kurds never, not once, ever attacked Turkey. The whole justification was contrived. It was a distraction so the Turks would not focus on Erdogan's poor and pathetic performance leading the country and stewarding Turkey's economy into ruin. So not only is the Rojava experiment relevant and essential for Syria, it's relevant and essential for the whole region and worldwide, because wherever you see these kind of conflicts, it has to do with disputes between the center and the periphery, between different regions and different groups. So if the Rojava principles can be preserved, then we have hope for Syria and we have hope beyond Syria's borders. If Erdogan succeeds in strangling the baby, then we all die with it. Next question. Let's go to the student in the rear there. Sir, you.
Over the last 2 decades,
Could you identify yourself?
my name is Thomas Mason. Over the last 2 decades, 2 independent regions have arisen in Kurdistan. The first one in Iraq and the second one in Syria.
يعني دناف كردا دا هر بروبلم هبونه.
There were always problems within the Kurds.
اف دبید آلی سیستم سال دبید آلی فکری دبه.
Whether these are systemic issues or idealistic issues.
لید انجام دا چارنوسا کردا هر یکه.
But at the end of the day, the destiny of the Kurds are, they're hand in hand.
چاوکو ایرش لسر کرد روجاوا چه بون کرد باشور خود جدید خطریه دو دیتن.
When the attacks were underway against Rojava, the Kurds of southern Kurdistan saw their future at risk as well.
و چاوکو تفگر کردا لباکوری کردستان ایرش دان سر بو صدم کو ایرش سر کرد روجاوا جی چه ببه.
just as when the Kurds in Turkey made certain strides forward and made certain progress, the Turks connected that and automatically invaded and attacked the Kurds in Rojava.
Kurd ved zanen.
The Kurds know this now.
Az bardikam pe hisyanu u hişyar bunet ve mejarede.
And I think that they've finally woken up to this fact as well.
Jbuji afdam we nashabe damin buhuri.
And I don't think today is reminiscent of the past anymore.
Dame peşiya meji we nawak roje irubin.
And the future will also not be like today.
اما صاد بینم کو ایدی سیاست که کرد هفباش د برجواندیا کردا دا وره آواکرن و چه ببه؟
I do think that there will be a more concerted Kurdish policy in line with general Kurdish interests.
کو سیستم ریخستن کرن نوک هف بیجی بیلا لی جبو پیشروج مجبورن وک هف بفکر.
And even if the administrative systems that are in place right now don't overlap very much, going forward they're going to have some sort of an overlap.
یعنی روجاوا نه مجبور خوک باشور ریخستن بکه یا باشور خوک روجاوا ریخستن بکه.
Rojava doesn't have to organize itself in the same way that southern Kurdistan does, or vice versa.
دمجارن هفباش تا دکارن اتفاق خودشیک.
But there is definitely a joint platform in which the two systems can work together.
بنگه ویش دیدیتن.
And I think now a basis for that is being seen.
For the 30 years that I've worked on Kurdish issues, Kurdish unity has always been a problem. But what we've seen is that when Kurds are pushed to the mountains, they come together and they find common ground. So it's hoped that from this recent tragedy arises opportunity for greater Kurdish cooperation and stronger democracy among the Kurds. Let's go to Mr. Al-Tajani.
I'm Hassan, Race Tijani from Sudan. By watching the...
از ندوی باری دمه.
I don't think so.
ولاتکی یا جواکی که تجدر ودا جلکی جرا ببره بینه وری لی بکی لی نابه.
If you bring an outside, a shirt or piece of clothing and try to place it on something foreign, it will never quite fit.
او جواک آنجا بخو قیاسا خود زانه و رنگ حزد که دزانه.
Only that society knows what they like and what their requirements are.
جوی اب خود کاره جلی خو ببره و خو بکه.
And that's why that society can cut its own clothing and dress itself.
لکار دولت دنی ایکو برجواندی وان های پشتگیری بکن دستک بکن.
But the international states that have interests, if that falls within their sphere, can show support or not.
یعنی اگر اروپا امریکا دخوازه حلیفه کی وان لهرم هبی و دم وی پروژه گرک
So if the international states do want a new caliphate in the region, then they can go and support that.
یا نو صابه وی به اسلامی وارن دور پیچ کرد.
But and if that is the case, then they'll just be surrounded by Islamists.
When we speak about the American society, we should recognize that there's huge support for the Kurds now among the American people. There's more knowledge about the Kurds now than at any time in the past, and it's largely a result of the efforts that Ilham and her colleagues have made to educate us.
از یعنی او مجار گریدای سیستم دولت من گوت لی ای جواکا جدای.
So this is the answer I gave is connected to the international status system, but there's a completely different sphere of society as well.
کسیم دموکرات آزادی خواست ده هر جواکی دهنه.
Freedom lovers and democratic forces exist in every society.
او پشتگیری زاتن دکه و پر خورجی هیز جی ده.
They support very significantly and give a lot of morale too.
Yeah.
So I was so proud that the U.S. government went to war in Kosovo to stop genocide there, that we intervened in Bosnia militarily, that we helped steward East Timor's independence. The U.S. government's track record is not always poor and pathetic, but this administration's treatment of the Kurds is beyond the pale. I am so ashamed of what my government has done, and I'm resolved to continue our advocacy to try to rectify this crime. not only Erdogan's crime, but the blood that's on President Trump's hands as well.